All right, we're live. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Locked On Sun Devils podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. My name is Richie Bradshaw, and I am your guide for everything Arizona State Sun Devils. We are live on YouTube to talk about signing day. That's what it's called. So we're here, we're hanging out, talking, asking questions, whatever. The chat is open. Feel free to hit up the chat. I'm going to be looking through all of the transfers, or not the transfers, the signings that we got today. So be sure to check those out. We have 13 signed letters of intent and 4 kids who are hard commits. However, there's a little controversy with one of those that we'll talk about here soon. If you're looking for me to talk about transfers, obviously I'm here for it. But make sure you check out the podcast that dropped earlier today. That is going over all of the transfers. I have been sick as a dog for the last month and a half, it feels like. So expect lots of content to end the year strong. I've got Locked On Pac-12 host Spencer McLaughlin coming on later this week. Probably going to be recording with him tomorrow, and then that episode will be coming out on Friday for you guys. He's going to give his thoughts on the overall Pac-12 spectrum and what he thinks about our recruiting class coming in. Talk to him about Kenny Dillingham a little bit, all that good stuff. I'll be lining up some interviews as well. I know that there are some players who have expressed interest in coming on the pod, so I'll be sure to hit them up, give them a shout, have them come on here and talk about the next era of Arizona State football. But speaking of that new era of Arizona State Sun Devils football, 13 letters of intent have been signed, including, and I'm just going to power through them real quick. If you guys want to take a look at this with me, I will more than happily share the link in the chat right now. I am just looking at 24/7 Sports. These are the guys. We have edge rusher Ashley Williams. He is a 3-star from Zachary, Alabama, or excuse me, Louisiana. Woo! If there's any Louisiana people in here, they're going to be mad at me on that one. Sean Russ, safety from Fort Myers, Florida. He is a 3-star. Corbin Hendricks, a wide receiver from McKinley, Texas, also a 3-star. Let's see if I can get this right. First try. Maxwell Iheen Aker, I think. I'm not 100% sure. Offensive lineman from Monterey Park, California. He is a 3-star. He is a number 8 tackle at his position and number 2 in state, number 22 national. I believe he is a junior college transfer for the team from East Los Angeles College. Montana Warren is a safety, another 3-star, him out of Henderson, Texas. Keontez Bradley, corner from Mansfield, Ohio, 3-star. We have an athlete by the name of Keith Abney. He is coming from Waxahachie, Texas. I think that's how you say that. He is also a 3-star. CJ Fight, we know him. We know him well. He decommitted and then recommitted to the program. He is a 3-star from Tatum, Texas. Caleb Black, he's a wide receiver from Spring, Texas. 3-star, 5'9" kid. Another wide receiver, Lennox Lawson from Mesa, Arizona. He is a 3-star. Siri Candielli, he is an offensive lineman, interior guy from Mesa, Arizona, played at Mountain View. Defensive lineman Landon Thomas, who is he's a defensive lineman, also from Zachary, Louisiana. So maybe him and Ashley Williams recognize each other. And finally, Kyle Scott, who's the offensive tackle from Riverside CC in California. I believe he is also a, junior college transfer. It's him and who was the kid? Ian Aker. Iheen Aker. I'm not sure. I'll have to double check on pronunciation for that. You also have 4 hard commits. You'll have safety Chase Davis from Little Elm, Texas, quarterback Israel Carter from Corona, California, edge rusher Elijah O'Neill from Oroville, California. He is a junior college transfer from Butte. And then Kyson Brown, who is from Lancaster, Texas. So I alluded there's a little bit of drama going on with one of our hard commits. That would be, of all the people, very surprising, Israel Carter. It sounds like Carter is actually going to be decommitting from Arizona State after a lot of talk that he was going to be staying with the program and that he wasn't going anywhere and that he was looking forward to competing and playing for Dillingham and everything. But suddenly things kind of feel like they went off the rails a little bit. And now we have Israel Carter putting out on his Instagram something along the lines of, please respect my decision. And again, by the sounds of things, he is no longer going to be attending Arizona State for one reason or another. I don't know why, but if I had an assumption, I would assume that it might have something to do with the decision of Drew Pine, the former Notre Dame quarterback, to transfer to the program. That would be my assumption. But yeah, that of all the people, I am very surprised that it's going to be Carter, because Carter was the one who seemed to be most intent on staying with the program. You know, he had talked about loyalty is everything to him and this, that, and the other about staying with the program no matter what. But ultimately, it appears that he is going to be withdrawing his commitment from the program. And I don't blame him. It's just, it is what it is kind of thing. This is part of the business. It's something that happens whether we like it or not. And more often than not, it's out of our control. But this is a young kid. This is a 17, 18-year-old kid who's looking to make the best decision for himself moving forward, both for his career and his education. So if Arizona State isn't that program, that university for him, then so be it. You know, there's no hard feelings. I certainly hope nothing but the best for him and that he's able to get somewhere established where he feels the most confident in himself moving forward. I just find it weird that he had kind of preached all of this and now he's decommitting. To me, what that kind of says is that Arizona State might look at Drew Pine as the answer to the quarterback situation for the team. That's really the only thing that kind of comes to my mind is maybe this is Drew Pine's team now, which is a very interesting conversation that we'll definitely have to get into. Fear to Fork Nation, what is going on? Thank you for stopping in. Super bummed about Carter changing his mind. I am too. I know there was some people on Twitter who had basically said something along the lines of like, it's really not that big a deal, this, that, and the other kind of thing. Look, I understand. It's not like you lost a 5-star number one recruit kind of thing, right? Israel Carter wasn't the next Arch Manning, but he was still someone who we were very excited to have joining this program and somebody that was taking all of his time to really assure us that we were going to be confident in his commitment moving forward, because Arizona State had so many guys who had decommitted from the program and they had so many guys who transferred out of the program. It seemed like Israel Carter wanted to make sure that we knew that he wasn't going anywhere, but now he is. So that's where I'm curious as to what's going on. I'm not questioning his character at all. I'm just very curious. Was something said to him? And maybe that's what changed his mind. I don't really know. What do you guys think? So, chat is open. Please hit up the chat. I'm reading the chat actively, replying to you guys, having a good conversation as we talk about Arizona State Sun Devils recruiting. What do you guys think is the reason Israel Carter decided to decommit? Well, possibly decommit. There's still nothing official to my knowledge, unless I missed something within the last hour and a half of prepping for the podcast, which would be funny and very embarrassing if I missed that. But nothing in stone that I'm aware of for him deciding to decommit from the program. We're going to go to news. Funny enough, AZ Central literally had an article yesterday that said Israel Carter hasn't wavered on his commitment, blah, blah, blah. Emilio, what's going on? He didn't want to be forced trained. Can't blame him. Really can't. Like, it's I'm curious, who's your top three then? Because Emory, I don't know if you guys saw, is officially committed to Cincinnati. Finn Collins left the program as well. I know there's a handful of guys on deck. I'm just curious who who your order is. It's definitely some order of Trenton Bourget, what's his name? He just came here, Drew Pine, and then a list of guys that I'm going to pull up here. Let's see. Sun Devils football 2023 roster. There we go. There's is it a D? Dalen McLemore? That would be probably the next guy up, I would imagine. So that makes a lot of sense for McLemore to be that guy. Who else is on the roster? Oh, Jacob Conover. Conover is also a guy who's going to compete. So, and there's a chance ASU's not done. There's guys out there to be had to continue building up a lot of depth and a lot of competition at the most important position for the football team right now. It's going to be very, very important for them. So I can't blame Israel. Like I said, I am doing anything but questioning his character or anything like that. He's got to do what's best for him. And that's one of the beautiful things about today's college football world is the ability for him to be able to better himself and move forward, even if maybe the fans aren't so crazy about it. It is what it is. It's just the nature of the business, right, wrong, or indifferent. It's what he needs to do for him. I'm happy for him. As much as I wanted this guy to succeed after leaving ASU, but can't help but feel disrespected by Nagata and Moore going to UW. Yeah, so if you guys didn't see that, Danny Nagata and Joe Moore are both going to Washington. I personally don't take disrespect for going to Washington. Now, staying in the Pac-12 can definitely leave a sour taste in your mouth. Washington is one of those teams I don't really have too much of an issue with. I know there's a little bit of a rivalry. There's a little bit of a history, right? We tend to dominate them in Tempe. They haven't won here in 20 years. And it's a decent little rivalry between us and Washington. But I don't have a problem with Washington. Maybe unpopular. In fact, I want to ask you guys this. Do you hate Utah? Because I don't hate Utah. And I feel like a lot of people do. And I actually have a really easy time cheering for Utah. But obviously, U of A, you go to U of A, you're dead to me. Plain and simple. You go to USC, I'm going to have a hard time cheering for you. But yeah, absolutely despise Utah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a bad fan. I don't hate Utah for whatever reason. Ron, what's going on, buddy? Israel Carter not gone yet. Isn't official until he enrolls. He's going to meet with Dillingham. There you go. So yeah, it's just he put that on Instagram and who is it? The Rivals page. Not Speaking of the Devils, that's the podcast. Devil's Digest. Devil's Digest was saying they're reporting that he is leaving, and normally they're pretty spot on, but we'll see. I don't want him to leave. I don't. He seems like a great young man. I would love him in the program. Emilio, we got 2 solid safeties, though. I'm a safety guy. I also am a safety guy. I definitely love the position. Safety and defensive line are my fortes. Yeah, absolutely despise Utah. I don't like. It helps that I've got some good friends. Michelle Bodkin is a really good friend of mine. I know her from some of the time that I've spent down in Mobile, Alabama at the Senior Bowl. Oh my goodness, who's my guy for Locked On? That's gonna really bug me, and I'm gonna feel bad that I can't remember his name. Let's take a peek. As soon as I say it, I'm gonna feel dumb. It just messaged me not that long ago, I'm pretty sure. Where are you? Andy. Wait. No. Andy Patton is he's Locked On College Hoops, which you guys should check out. I was just on there the other day talking about our number 25 ranked Sun Devils. JT Wistrcill. I think that's how you say it. But he's good people. He's Locked On. I love my Locked On people. I'm very biased, but Locked On is good people. I know a lot of good Utah fans. I don't hate Utah. I'll tell you this. I hate them 1 week a year, right? When we play them. It's not for me like USC is a year-round hate. U of A is a year-round hate. UCLA is a year-round hate. Is there anyone else? Colorado's just too bad. I don't feel bad. Or I don't feel hatred towards Colorado. Who else is in the pack? Well, that's everyone in the South. And I mainly have beef with the South. Oregon, when I play them, I hate them. Otherwise, I cheer for them. Oregon State, when we play them, I hate them. Otherwise, I cheer for them. I'm not a huge Wazoo guy for one reason or another, but I don't hate them. Yeah, it's really like the LA schools, U of A. I actually respect Utah quite a bit, but I don't blame anyone for not. I mean, it's a rival, so fear to Fork Nation. Just curious if we're gonna try to get Dylan Raiola since he decommitted from the Ohio State. Yes, as I am scheming a way to find Dylan Raiola in an Arizona State Sun Devils uniform. Now, the big rumor with him is that he is going to Nebraska. His dad is an alum. His uncle is on the coaching staff with Matt Rule, the new head coach there. Everyone is going to be trying to get Nebraska back to the prominence they had before majority of us were even alive. You know, back in the 1900s. It really wasn't that long ago. It was like the 80s, 90s. But I'm going to make it seem like it was a long time ago. 20, 30 years is still a long time. Ron, what's going on, my friend? There are 2 more 4-star signing in next few days, exciting ones. I am excited about everything that's going on with Sun Devils football right now. The Kenny Dillingham experience in just a small amount of time has turned into such an exciting one. I mean, he's been here just about a month, maybe. Dude, if Jacoby Lane came to Arizona State, whoo! Now, I don't know if you guys saw this. Jacoby Lane is the only USC commit who has not signed or is not like a hard commit, sign the letter or whatever it is. He's the only one of their 10 who hasn't yet. So while he's still a verbal commit, he could decommit and stay in town. And I know all of us are really excited about the potential of Deuce Robinson also staying, 5-star tight end. Man, imagine a tight end room of Jalen Conyers, Messiah Swinson, and Deuce Robinson. That is disgusting. And for a head coach and an offensive play caller that use the tight ends the way they do, I don't know. I'm just saying maybe we get back to tight end U. Everyone forgets we put in Zach Miller and Todd Heap. I know that's it, but we have a little bit of history with tight ends. I certainly wouldn't be opposed to building some more history with tight ends. Guys, if you're just coming in, what is going on? Thank you all so much for stopping by. We are talking Arizona State Sun Devils football signing day right now. 13 letters of intent, 4 hard commits, and then we have the 13, is it 13 or 15? 15 transfers as well. This is a brand new Arizona State Sun Devils program, and we should be very excited about the future that this team holds for us right now. Very, very exciting stuff. Good old water when you're not feeling good. Yeah. Anyways, so let's take a look. There's a lot of wide receivers that are coming in, and that should be really exciting for us because we haven't had a ton of luck at wide receiver since the days of Brandon Ayuk and N'Keal Harry, which isn't that long ago, but it's still been a minute. Elijah Badger and Geo Sanders are studs. And I'm really excited about the future that they possess, especially Badger. I feel like Badger could really turn into an NFL pro if he's able to take another step forward. He turned into a pros pro last year. I mean, this is a guy who I didn't even hardly talk about on the podcast. I was very smitten with Cam Johnson. I had talked about Andre Johnson and Brian Thompson. And then I kind of flirted with some of the other receivers, but definitely wasn't expecting for Elijah Badger to break out and be the number 1 receiver. I know some people were, I was not in that group for one reason or another. And now I can tell you, I think he's going to end up being one of the best receivers in the Pac-12. He'll be going up against Dorian Singer, who's now at USC. They've got the 2 kids down in Tucson. Both of their names are escaping me. Both of their names. You got T. McMillan and dude, what is his name? That's gonna be bugging me a lot. I don't know. I'll look it up here in a minute. Michael Wiley was running back. It'll come to me. But I know Washington has a couple of guys too. There's going to be some good competition in the Pac-12 for the receiver spot. But Elijah Badger is definitely going to make himself a really nice push to be one of the 5 best receivers in the Pac-12. Fear to Fork Nation, hoping Ocho Cinco Jr. getting a shot this year. He's been waiting for this guy. Yeah, I am going to manifest for like a third year in a row a Chad Johnson Jr. breakout because the dude has been nothing but patient with the program. You want to talk about loyalty? This dude has one catch in 3 years. He's going into his redshirt junior season. He's barely been on the field. He's unwavering. He's still here. My guy, no one would blame you if you wanted to transfer. Not a single person would look at you and be like, wow, that was really disrespectful. I can't believe you did that. No, dude, you deserve an opportunity. All the talent in the world is there. It just has not been able to manifest onto the field. They're really taking their time in developing this kid in a best case scenario for him. I don't know why he's not on the field, but props to him for staying and sticking out as long as he has. If he transferred, no one would blame him, but he is still staying here, and that deserves to be rewarded. So I want to see more Chad Johnson Jr. This was he a 4-star? I believe he was a 4-star. I'm pretty sure he was a pretty highly touted kid when he was coming out of high school and just has not been able to get onto the field. If we go to Rivals, Chad Johnson Jr., I'm pretty sure he was a 4-star. Maybe I'm wrong. Rivals has him as a 3-star. What did 24/7 have him as? I swear he was a 4-star. There you go. They have him as a 4-star on 24/7 Sports. Rivals had him as a 3-star. But yeah, I just want to see a guy who is so committed to this program get an opportunity. It is becoming a rarity for you to have players that'll stick to the culture and stick to the program for as long as they have. Not only that, this is no longer the staff that recruited Chad Johnson Jr. This is a new staff. At this point, he owes us nothing. He has stuck it out for 3 years with this team, and they've barely given him an opportunity. So, truly, like, for him to still be here, I hope everyone can appreciate that. That is so, like, unheard of today with how popular the transfer portal is. And you can be one and done at a program and go to the next program a year later. But he's sticking it out. That's special. That is truly special. I really hope that everybody who goes and complains about Chad Johnson Jr. not getting reps also understands that this kid could have left 2 years ago. He could have redshirted and then decided to book it. Like there was no reason for him to stay at the program as long as he has, and he is. Major props. He will be somebody that I will be heavily rooting for going into next year. I'm going to continue to manifest him breaking out. I've been doing that since the start of this podcast. When he was a redshirt freshman, I was hoping for a big breakout for him. Hasn't happened yet. Hopefully this will be the year. Ron, another really good receiver signs Friday too. Maybe that'll be Jacoby Lane. That would be pretty sweet if Jacoby Lane decided to come to the program. But there's a lot of receiver talent here right now. With all the guys that are coming in, you've got Corbin Hendricks coming in, 6'2", 180-pound guy. You've got Lennox Lawson coming in, 5'11", 175. You've got Jake Smith. Everyone knows who Jake Smith is if you're a Valley kid. He is, what's his build? Now I'm curious. 6 foot, 200 pounds, but he was a highly touted 4-star back at his days at Notre Dame Prep. And I know that he was one of the hotter names in the transfer portal for Arizona State when he announced that he was going to be returning home. I know that there's definitely going to be some high expectations for him. I know I'm going to be keeping an eye on Jake Smith as well, but there's a lot of talent in this wide receiver room. Mel Constoval is also a really interesting guy. Super tiny, like barely 5'9", 180 pounds. Definition of like a slot receiver. Not a ton of production in his career, but maybe in his final season, Arizona State's able to get something out of him. What'll be interesting is, can any of these guys return? Because I'm kind of over it with DJ Taylor. I'm sure you guys are too. And Dana Nagata is gone. So I know everyone's excited for Javen Jacobs, and I am too, because Jacobs looked really, really solid when he was given opportunities as a return man last year. But there needs to be some kind of what's the word? Like battle, like can't battle, like people pushing him essentially to be the best guy on the field. So, because I feel like that might have been the problem with DJ Taylor these last couple of years, is there hasn't really been anyone to push him until this year. It just kind of competition. Thank you. That's exactly the word I was looking for. That's embarrassing. But there needs to be some good competition this year for return duties. Even if Javen Jacobs is definitely the guy, I want some other guys behind him to push him. Could that be Stovall? Could that be Jake Smith? Could that be somebody else who's yet to enter the portal? If DJ Taylor is still with the program, which I'm pretty sure he hasn't transferred, but I also just am unsure about anything about him at this point. Yeah, he's still on the roster, but he's definitely not the starter at this point and needs to be pushed. There needs to be a lot of competition on special teams this year. Hopefully they get it. So let's see. The receiver spot I'm really, really excited about. Caleb Black is another guy, 5'9", 165. This athlete, Keith Abney. Tell me more about Keith Abney. Is there any stats I can find on him? He's a track star, fast kid, 100-meter times of 11:10, 11:16, and 11:20. That's pretty quick. That's a lot quicker than me. My numbers would be tripled or maybe even quadrupled on that. Texas District 11-6A, first team selection as a junior, sophomore season at Red Oak, so he's moved around a little bit, but dude's a track star. What's his build? 5'10", 170. I'm sure they'll probably get him all over the place, but maybe that's a guy on special teams that you can mess around with. Haven't had a good returner since Tim White. No, we have not. And Tim White was a really good returner. We actually had some decent returners over that stretch of time with Todd Graham. Kalen Balaj wasn't half bad. Tim White was a pretty good returner. I feel like there was another guy before them. You had Richard Gump Hayes was a really, really good returner. Yes, Gump Hayes was really good. The guy I'm trying to think of actually made it to the pros. Had a kick return touchdown with Washington. In fact, the day he had a kick return touchdown with Washington, I was at an ASU basketball game. I remember it so vividly. I can't remember the kid's name, though. Is it Rashad Ross? I feel like it might be Rashad Ross. Yes, Rashad Ross for Arizona State. He was a good return man as well. We've had decent returners. It's just been so long. So hopefully we're able to get some good competition, because the more competition we have, the better we'll be. And maybe we won't have so many issues like we had this past year, fielding punts and deciding when and when not to return stuff. Like, touchdowns out of the equation. I just want smart returning, because it just feels like we haven't had that in a couple of years. It's been forcing stuff to happen. You just can't have that. You need to be smart with those opportunities. And that was something that was inherently not there last year. So definitely looking forward to those kicking opportunities. Running back position is going to be a lot of fun. Tevin White is going into his second year now. He looked pretty solid when he was given some opportunities. He will be a true sophomore for us. He played more than getting a red shirt. Let's see who else we've got. Bryce Douglas is a redshirt freshman for the team. Is Deontay Elliott still going to be here? I think he is, but I might be wrong on that. Let's see. All the running backs that are going to be on the roster. He might be gone. What if I sort by position? Make my life a little bit easier. Let's see. No, he's still there. So listed on the roster here will be Deontay Elliott, Tevin White, Bryce Douglas, George Hart. That's who's listed there. Obviously, we've got DeCarlos. Dude, drawing blanks. Where are you, DeCarlos? DeCarlos Brooks will be coming in. They just got the kid, Cameron Scatabo, will be transferring in from Sac State. So there's going to be some good competition at running back as well, which I think there needs to be because you're going to have just a massive drop off in production from losing your top two guys. I mean, Tevin White was third on the team in rushing attempts for a running back because obviously Emery and what's his name Bourget would have been ahead of him, but Tevin White only had 14 carries last year, so there's going to be a lot of unknowns at the running back spot. So Scatabo, Brooks, Tevin White, I imagine that all of them are going to get some pretty significant touches as well and try to figure out what the backfield looks like. You're probably not going to have another X Valade. That was a massive season. That's not something that you can just anticipate from anyone, let alone a transfer. So I would be surprised if we had another guy rush for almost 1,200 yards and 16 touchdowns. That would be phenomenal. But Scatabo has a pretty good box score for what he's been able to do during his time at Sac State. Last year, he rushed for 1,372 yards and 7 touchdowns with 7 yards per carry. By the way, his career is 7.5. As a freshman, he totaled the ball 57 times for 520 yards and 9.1 a pop. And the dude is just thick. 5'10", 212 pounds. DeCarlos Brooks is also 5'9", 210 pounds. Or no, he's 5'10", 210 pounds. They're almost the same exact build, just a little bit of actual physical differences between the two. But you got some big, thick boys that are coming in to potentially give you a good old-fashioned ground and pound attack, which would be great for an offense that is potentially going to explore itself a little bit more. Everyone unknown to Dillingham, exactly. Definitely a lot of changes that are coming in here. Fear to Ford Nation, ASU has been super spoiled at running back position these last few years. Balaj, Benjamin, White, Valade. Yeah, dude, you can keep going. Benjamin, or you said Benjamin. Demario Richard. There's been Chip Trayanum was a stud. There's been tons of good running backs recently, but even a little further, if we want to go DJ Foster or he's right on the tip of my tongue. All he did was score. Marion Grice. I wanted to say Trice, and that's the pass rusher from Washington. Marion Grice. Yeah, there's been tons and tons of good running backs. If Tevin was the next guy, I'd be here for it. The dude is built like a pro. And the best part is he wears number 28, which will maybe bring back some memories of Adrian Peterson at 6'1", 210. It would be awesome if Tevin White was able to become that next great Arizona State Sun Devils running back. But I think the smart thing to do this year is to really kind of even the playing field and see what you have and give everybody a little bit of an opportunity. Defensive line is what I'm worried about. Interior anyways. Yeah, the defensive line is a big old mystery right now. There's not a lot that is coming back that's proven right now. Michael Matus will be coming off of an ACL tear. He's more of an edge guy anyways. For the interior, it's BJ Green, Robbie Anderson, and then Matthew Palomalo will be on the roster as well at 6'2", 340 pounds. There's definitely a lot of question marks on the interior. Jaleel Rivera Harvey will be one of the guys competing as well. Tristan Monday bulked up big time to 276, so he'll be competing. Brandon McElroy, Colin Fight, incoming freshman, potentially has an opportunity. Landon Thomas coming in at 6'3", 260. There's definitely going to be a lot of question marks. Lots of edges coming in. Yeah, lots of edges coming in. Edge I won't be overly concerned about, but the interior is going to be very unproven, whoever's next to BJ Green. BJ Green needs to be a full-time starter there's like no excuse at this point. Not only for the fact that he's like the only returning guy who has major experience, but also has production to match. He's led you in sacks each of the last 2 years. So BJ Green needs to be a full-time starter. Next to him, rotate as much as possible. I think figure out what you've got with these young guys. I want to see some Robbie Anderson action because or Harrison. I did that again. I want to see Robbie Harrison get some action because he did redshirt last year. The site lists him at 6'4", 325. That's going to be difficult to keep him off the field, I feel like. So get him some opportunities. Edge will be fun. Anthony Cooper, Michael Matus. They got the kid Ashley Williams will be coming in. Unfortunately, he's not related to Bruce Campbell. If anyone understands that joke, I love you very, very much. Or reference, I should say. So, but yeah, no relation to Bruce Campbell. But he is 6'5", 225, and I'm sure that they're going to have a lot of fun moving him around and getting him some experience. I honestly think Green should move to edge. I wouldn't hate it. Green is just like, he's that weird, he's almost like a tweener because he's not the tallest guy in the world. He's not the longest guy in the world, but he is thick and he's a good mover at 6'1", 275. I think his best case scenario, and I mean, this is like best case, would be like Will Sutton-esque because Sutton wasn't the biggest guy on the interior of the line. Sutton was also like 6 foot, 6'1", but he was closer to 300 pounds. If BJ Green can get anywhere near that, that'd be tremendous. But I am all for the flexibility of using BJ Green all over the place because he's not the biggest guy in the world for the interior of the line. He's not the longest guy in the world for the outside of the line, but he gets in the backfield. That's all that matters at the end of the day is the dude produces, and he's definitely somebody who just needs to be on the field in any facet that you can come up with. So definitely have him out there like full-time. Green will be edge. I'm good with it. I'm good with BJ Green being edge. Absolutely no issues whatsoever. The only problem with you doing that is you just got to figure out who to move to the tackle spots. So I don't know if Michael Matus is a guy that I want moving inside at 6'2", 265. There's Omar Vega. I don't know what that is. I don't know why on earth you would put that in this chat. You're not passing the vibe check. Are you really a U of A fan in the Locked On Sun Devils chat? That's my question. You're really a U of A fan in a Locked On Sun Devils live. Interesting. No. Boop. See you later. All right. Where were we? Defensive line. ASU needs to step game up. I'm going to be nice. You guys just won the Territorial Cup. You guys are feeling yourselves right now, and you should. You guys are on the move. You're on the rise. We'll see. I don't know. Arizona had far better day. Okay. Whatever, pal. Let's get back to ASU stuff. Our scheme completely different on defense. Green should fit in well. Yes, I'm really excited for the new defensive coordinator. Why am I blanking on his name? ASU. It's Ward. Brian? Who's the defensive coordinator? Brian. Yeah, I was right. Brian Ward. I am excited for Brian Ward, and that's another one of the moves that's coming in. Is you've got the transfer Travion Brown coming in for Arizona State, and yeah, we're not doing the U of A stuff in the chat, man. So if you're here to just stir it up, then you need to go. I'm not here to moderate a chat when I'm trying to have a conversation about ASU. So I don't know why you're here. Thanks for subscribing, I guess. But anyways, I keep losing my train of thought. I had just pulled the guy that I wanted to talk about. Oh, we were talking about defense. and Brian Ward, defensive coordinator. Yeah, so Travion Brown, that's who I was getting to. So I'm excited for him because he's going to be able to potentially get a opportunity to be a full-time starter for the team at linebacker because Arizona State is missing a lot of guys at the linebacker spot now. Kyle Soley and Merlin Robertson, who had been with the team forever and ever and ever, are gone now. So it's Connor Soley, who's going to be a redshirt senior, and then you've got Caleb McCullough, Will Schaefer, and James Joncom that are the most recognizable guys. There's other guys as well. There's according to the website, we've got Fritzy Niklas, Jacob Jorandal, Dylan DeVito. I don't think he's related to Danny. Zach Bowers and Charlie Allen will be the main guys competing. So there's a really good opportunity for Travion Brown to come in, be a full-time starter, understand the defense, and be able to get this thing rolling a lot sooner rather than later. The defense is definitely going to be a work in progress, though. So I feel like you really don't have anywhere to go but up from here. Front seven, I'm worried about. Back end, pretty excited about the secondary. I don't know about you guys, but Chris Edmonds and Ro Torrance and Ed Woods are all back, and that's exciting for me. What were you guys talking about? Flow. I am unfamiliar with Flow, Arizona. Let's learn about him. Oh, that is he the linebacker that's never healthy for yeah, it's got to be him. Justin Flo. Yeah. He's talented. I did not see that he was going to U of A. His thing, he's just never healthy, though, right? Yeah, he just isn't able to stay on the field for one reason or another. But if he's able to finally put it all together, it looks like he played the majority of this past season, if not all of it. He missed 2 games. If he's able to stay healthy, I mean, the dude's going to be a redshirt junior. There's or sophomore, redshirt sophomore. There's opportunity for him to grow, and U of A's defense definitely could use a talented guy like him. They'd made strides, but they got a lot of room to grow. But anyways, we're not talking about U of A. We're talking about ASU. We're talking about the superior Arizona College. Any news about Bram Walden? Any news about Bram Walden, the offensive lineman from Oregon? I don't think so, but let's see what we can find. Bram Walden. I don't think there's anything new on him. I just know that Arizona State is definitely one of those teams that's going to be in the running for him. So that'll be interesting to monitor. He's a Valley kid. It looks like Bram Walden. I think Bram Walden's a Valley kid, so wouldn't that just make sense? Yeah, Scottsdale, Arizona, went to Saguaro, come back home. He would be a plug-and-play guy for you. He would be an instant plug-and-play offensive lineman for you. So, yep, we will see about Walden pretty soon. I can't imagine he would take too much more to figure it out. Mons needs to be recruiting him, absolutely. Dude, the coaching staff that they were able to assemble is really exciting, and I am beyond excited for everything they were able to put together. So really looking forward to guys like Coach Mons and seeing what they're going to be able to bring to the table from a recruiting aspect, because Mons has obviously been so successful at the Arizona high school football level. Now bring that recruiting aspect into it and bring him to Arizona State. You should be able to really just get this thing taken off and to bigger and better things for sure. Yeah, Saguaro. I mean, kid played for him. So there's definitely a lot of spots to connect or dots to connect here. Let's see. Okay, so update on the Israel Carter situation for you. He tweeted out, he said, under consideration with my family and coaches, I've decided to push my signing day back to February 1st. So he's not decommitting. He's just pushing his official commitment back to February 1st. Now, could he decommit? Yes, of course he could. Between December 21st and February 1st is a lot of time for him to make a decision that he wants to go somewhere else. But he's not pushing his commitment, or he's not decommitting, is what I meant to say. And then they also just tweeted out, I turn on notifications for these guys. So if you guys don't have notifications on, definitely stay in touch. Let's see. 2020 recruiting class, currently 54 in the team rankings. Remember, Kenny Dillingham was just over 3 weeks to assemble his staff and recruit. They were 95th a year ago, and they're already up to 54th. So, in just 24 days, this is what Devil's Digest tweeted. Furthermore, it is just incredible that Dillingham and his staff in just 24 days, with most of the staff not even in Tempe for the full duration of that period, landed 15 transfers, and as of tonight, have another 15 players who signed their letters, 30 additions in 24 days. Yeah, that's nuts, guys. Absolutely nuts what they've been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time. Let's take a look at what's going on with chat. What position are you more concerned about after today, and which position do you feel is strongest? Most concerned, probably the interior of the offensive line. I just don't know what kind of stability we have going into it. Like, your Ben Scott is gone, Des Holmes is gone. There's a lot of question marks on the interior of the line, at least with what's his name? Isaiah Glass. You have some stability at the tackle spot that you know for sure. The interior is a complete question mark. Everything's gone. Ladarius Henderson's gone. Ben Scott is gone. Des Holmes is gone. So very, very concerned over the interior of the line. Which position I feel is strongest? Maybe wide receiver. Wide receiver definitely feels like a really good position. Quarterback could be sneaky. It just depends on how Drew Pine ends up looking in spring camp. Anyways, Walden was rated best Arizona player in 2021. Yeah, no, bring him home. How about you ask my request? Oh, okay. All righty. Let's see. Goodbye. How do we clean this up? We'll just put you in another timeout for now. That way I don't have to think about you. Yeah, we're not here to stir up drama in the chat. Like, we're not about that. Tell you what. I am making one of you a moderator for me. Not saying who. That way no one gets mad. One of you is a moderator now. Just help me out. Thank you very much. Anyways. Hoping by 2025, 2026, we're keeping all the studs in state. Dillingham, Iguano, and Mons should make it happen. Dude, yeah. You have completely seized control over the Valley, and that's very, very exciting. The one thing is you want to make sure that you're still able to pull from everywhere else, because for all of the rights and wrongs that Antonio Pierce had for the program, he did recruit Southern Cal very well. You don't want to lose the roots you have in Southern Cal. You still want to be able to recruit out in Texas. You want to be able to recruit out in the South and in the Northeast and all over the place. You don't want to just pigeonhole yourself to one state. But with the lack of recruiting that they've been doing in the state, this is a very exciting move for the team to be able to see that they actually care and are willing to do what it takes to keep talent inside Arizona. So I'm here for that. I'm really excited about that. They should be able to definitely just take hold of all the recruiting in Arizona. Like, Arizona State, truly, like, I say this as unbiasedly as possible, it is a great college. There are tons of great programs for students to go through. They've got a great science program for all sorts of different fields there. The nursing has gotten a lot better. The journalism program, Walter Cronkite, come on. The Walter Cronkite is simply like perfect. It is the journalism program. It's up there with Northwestern and some of the other places across the country. So you've got the Cronkite program. You've got a good nursing program, all sorts of good science programs. The engineering is really good. They've got tons to offer for you. Tons of campuses too. There's 5 campuses. 4. West, Polytech, Maine, Phoenix, and Yuma. 5. They have 5 campuses. So they're all over the place. And they've got everything to offer. It's a huge school, tons of opportunities to meet new people. Arizona is a great place to live. Like the weather, sure, the summers are hot, but you don't have to be out here in the summer all the time. You can take vacations back home and see your family. You can always drive up a couple hours north to Flagstaff and enjoy cooler weather or even snow. Like Arizona is a great place to live. Arizona State is a great college. There's a lot of really attractive things about this university that should make it one of the best destination places to go. Like, I'm not saying that you're Alabama. I'm not saying you're Ohio State. I'm not even saying you're USC. But you do have a really good, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, here's what we have to offer. It's a lot to offer. It's a lot of really good things to offer. And Arizona State should definitely like just be able to start building upon itself, make its name more of a brand name, and bring people in. With the roster and the staff they're building, they could definitely dominate recruiting in Arizona. You're not going to get everyone. Some kids are going to want to leave the state. Some kids are going to want to go play for premier programs, but there should be no more Arizona State didn't call me that we have seen so many times in the past few years. There should be no more Arizona State didn't give me an opportunity. Arizona State needs to be the first school that I want to know contacted you when you started your recruiting process. There are a lot of guys to be had in Arizona, a lot of guys that we've missed out on. So definitely looking forward to being able to continue building upon this program and everything. Hi, Grandma. That's my grandma, everyone. Say hi to Grandma. Who is going to be our quarterback next year? Probably Drew Pine until further notice. Trenton Bourget and Drew Pine are definitely going to be the guys who are competing for quarterback 1 on the roster. But there's other guys as well that'll compete. Dalen McLemore, Jacob Conover, Israel Carter. Lots of guys to compete. Right now, it's between Bourget and Pine, though. Man, we're probably going to be wrapping this bad boy up here pretty soon. It was a really good day for Arizona State, though. I mean, you've gotten almost 30 new kids to come to the program. More than 30. I can do math. 33 new kids who are coming into the program. Remove. I don't want to deal with you. There we go. Anyways. There's a really good looking bright side and future here for Arizona State that we should be excited about. So definitely look forward to that. Grandma Trenton Bourget is a redshirt senior next year, so this will be his final year. Well, I think he might have his COVID year too. He might have 2 more years, but he'll go into next year probably as quarterback 1 with Drew Pine competing with him. But anyways, there's a lot to be excited about, and they've done so much in such a short amount of time, and there's still dominoes to fall. Like, imagine if you're able to pull Deuce Robinson and Jacoby Lane. I'd go insane. We would have to do an emergency. If we got one of them, let alone both of them, emergency podcast, emergency live, I'd be on here and we would have a jolly good time. We'll pop some bottles of bubbly and age appropriate stuff. But yeah, it's an exciting time for Arizona State. There's still so much left to happen. And I mean, we still have National Signing Day out in February too. What day did they? February 1st, which is when Israel Carter is pushing out his commitment to. So there's an opportunity for him to come back on National Signing Day. So there are a lot of players who have yet to sign, of players who have yet to commit, all that good stuff. things are only going to get better for Arizona State. So I encourage you guys to stay in touch any way that you possibly can, whether that's subscribing here on YouTube to the channel. If you haven't already, I implore you to do that. My grandson is awesome. No, Grandma, you're awesome. And I'm very biased about that. But anyways, there's a lot of coverage that's going to be coming soon. So if it's Locked On Sun Devils, like and subscribe on YouTube, turn on notifications. I am finally healthy, although I said that last time and then I got sick again. But I'll be pumping out lots of content for you guys. There's going to be interviews that are coming up with players. I will see if I can maybe get in touch with some coaches or something. Obviously, I'll be generating all the content for you guys. And then obviously basketball's going on. In fact, there's a game tonight, 8 o'clock for Arizona State. They're playing San Francisco. That game will be on. What channel will it be on? That's what I would like to know. But there is an ASU game on tonight. They're playing San Francisco. It'll be on CBS at 8 o'clock. So make sure you guys tune into that. Support the Sun Devils basketball program. We're going to be talking about them more too. This is a great team right now. If you guys have been interested in basketball this year, this is definitely the time to do it. Get involved. Go to the games. I'll be going to the games. I'm trying to decide for the U of A game, which will be on the 31st. Should I go with media or should I go with fans? Like, I kind of want to go as a fan. I'll deck down my ASU stuff, but I also want to be able to talk to coach after the game when we take down U of A. Fall down, Arizona. Fall down. Oh, man. Fear to Fork Nation. Love the podcast, by the way. Always checking out the cast during work. You're the best. You're the best. I love you all to pieces. I wouldn't be here without you guys. So thank you for giving me this platform. Let's wrap this bad boy up, though. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Remember, wherever you're getting your podcast, whether that's YouTube or in an audio platform like Spotify or Audacity or anything like that, make sure you hit like and subscribe, turn on notifications, and get updates when we post new content. Stay in touch with that. You can follow me on Twitter at Richie Brads36. You can follow the podcast as well at LO_Sun Devils. Until next time, you keep it locked right here on Locked On Sun Devils. See you guys.